Yes, everyone, good morning. Welcome to Forever United TV. I'm Adam, all of your Manchester United news here now this Tuesday morning, 29th of July. One more day goes in the transfer window. What updates do we have today? We're talking Sesko, Watkins, Garnacho, Sancho. We're talking quite a lot, actually. Our new midfield target for Manchester United, but not new to Ruben Amorim. All of that in this morning's show, along with your live interactions as well. Please get into the chat, people. If you are playing catch-up later on, please do make sure that you get your comments in there as well so we can catch up with them later. Also, they are important. Thank you everybody who has already been involved in the shows this week. It was an absolutely mega blockbuster day yesterday. People tuning in to find out what was going on with Benjamin Sesko, where we're actually at with players leaving. How long do these players that United want have to wait for? Because that's the word. Manchester United have asked players to wait, and some have been reluctant to do so, which is why we've not managed to get these transfers done. Some are waiting. No, we are expecting a major update on Benjamin Sesko today, tomorrow, over this next couple of days. Fabrizio Romano all over this. Romano also coming out last night and saying that United could buy 2 or 3 more players this transfer window. There is something going on behind the scenes that we don't know, which could just burst onto the pages, the newspaper pages, the internet and social media, and wham, there you go. What's happening now? Let's get into the news. We're going to start with Garnacho today because that was the story last night from Fabrizio Romano. We're going to get into Sesko in a moment as well, but this all leads into the same story anyway. Like we already know, players waiting. United need to make money. United need to sell players to bring more players in. Some players reluctant to leave and are trying to drag out this window to get the deal that they want. Well, we know from what Romano has said, and he has said it all the way through the summer, that Garnacho is waiting for Chelsea. Don't count out Chelsea. Now, everybody thought, obviously, well, Chelsea are signing Chelsea is signing bleeding everybody, and now they're going for Xavi Simons, and it looks like that deal is getting closer and closer to actually completion now. So obviously everyone has thought that Garnacho is not going to be needed. I said last night, and I mentioned it, like you look at the forwards that Chelsea have lost from last season: Sancho, Madueke, Mudryk, and now João Felix as well. All 4 of them wide attacking players gone. Simons isn't really a wide player. He's a more of a Cole Palmer based sort of player in the 10 role. That's his favourite position. He can obviously adapt and move in and out, and Chelsea need depth. They're in the Champions League. They are the world champions. So they need to make a statement, obviously, in Europe, I think, this season, and say, right, we're back in Europe. We want to stay. So looking for depth all over the park. And when you say that they've brought in strikers, they're looking to move Jackson on. So the 2 forwards that they brought in Delap and obviously João Pedro from Brighton and Ipswich respectively, they're the 2 players that you would expect to battle it out for the number 9. But what about the wider players? 10, he's going to be Cole Palmer all day, every single day. The wide players, the attacking direct players, is there room for Garnacho there? Well, Romano says that Chelsea are looking to buy both Xavi Simons and Garnacho. They still want Garnacho and are talking to Garnacho, and this is why he's waiting. Again, it's not just Manchester United that are keeping players on hold, and certain moves appeal to certain players more than others, and they will wait it out for that deal to actually happen. Now, honestly, as long as Garnacho's gone at the end of this transfer window, I don't care. I honestly could not give a flying F-bomb to where Garnacho goes. If he goes to a rival, some fans have an issue with that, thinking we're directly feeding our competition. A few people had an issue with Sancho going to Chelsea last season. Not me. I just want them out of the door. Look after number 1 at the moment, and then the rest we'll worry about later. Right now, we need to deal with the ultimate threat and the number 1 threat, which is not having enough quality players for Ruben Amorim to work with this season for us. Never mind what other teams are doing right now. Let's get ourselves back up moving again. Garnacho leaving gives United the financial freedom to buy whoever they want this window right now, if they wanted to. That's how much that pure profit plays a part for United. So they're not going to, I don't think, push Garnacho a certain direction. Obviously, we've had the news on what David Ornstein has said about find another club. You better hope you find another club. All of the leaks from United and all of that jazz. That's there and everybody knows about it. But a 45, 50 million sale of Garnacho, which I think is going to be, is going to give United what they want. Now, Ruben has said in that press conference the other day, and I do still remember what he said, in that there's a price on the head of these players that United wants, and if it's not met, they will be United players next summer. He said that for the cameras. I am fully convinced of that. I don't believe that Manchester United would turn down a £50 million, 45, £50 million offer for Garnacho. So Realistically, what we're looking at right now is I feel United just biding their time and waiting it out and just seeing if Manchester United can get a little bit more from elsewhere to maybe bump up Chelsea's price, because we know that Garnacho wants to leave Manchester United. We know that he wants out. We know United want him out, and that, I think, is exactly where Manchester United's stance is on this right now. And I think it is a case of, right, we know that we could get this money for Garnacho. There's pretty much a guarantee there of going to Chelsea and getting a fee at least 45, 50 million, and that's gonna get us what we want this summer. I'm just double checking through news which is just circulating right now regarding other potential moves. There's a lot of talk going around regarding HUJLMAND. He is on my list of stories today, HUJLMAND. I'm just checking, there's been some more news come out. All right, what I'll do first of all, I'll get through this quickly because Garnacho is key on this, but Laurie Whitwell has dropped some news also regarding the situation. I've put that at the bottom of your screen anyway. So this is where we're at with Garnacho right now, waiting for the right offer to come in. And obviously this leads to the news that we're going to talk about right now, which is the news that Laurie Whitwell has dropped. So in terms of what Laurie said, first and foremost, in terms of the... I'm going to actually read into Laurie's article here from The Athletic. Manchester United explore Watkins and Sesko cost after narrowing striker search was the headline. Manchester United have narrowed down their striker search to two primary names in OLLIE Watkins and Benjamin Sesko. This is The Athletic, so you know that this is genuine now. This is where we're at, and this is what we're talking about. So any thought that this might not be real, this is The Athletic, this is Romano. Everybody, it's happening. There is a real chance that United could be buying Benjamin Sesko. This is where we're at right now. Let's just see now with this. I'm just reading through the important bits of this now. Right, so let's just move. Just bear with me a second. Let me just move forward onto the important one from what Laurie Whitwell has said here. The interesting one in all of this is from the actual Jackson bid. So Manchester United have narrowed it down. No final decision has been made, but discussions are ongoing to determine the potential cost of each deal. As we know, that's Whitwell's article from over in the States, and obviously Romano has updated us on this yesterday. I don't think Laurie Whitwell would have written this today. I think that would have been written yesterday and put out today. So that's his article from yesterday for today. Obviously Romano has updated us since then. So Whitwell confirming that Sesko is a top target for Manchester United, along with what Fabrizio Romano said yesterday. But the interesting thing with this is that Nicholas Jackson ruled out due to Chelsea's demands. It was looked into, and United just said no. So now it is literally Watkins or Sesko, and that seems to be it for Manchester United. You've got to be confident that you're going to get at least one of these players in now if you're narrowing it down to just two. If you're not going to scrape the barrel and go for any crap like we've been worried about before with the likes of the Calvert-Lewin and Vardy and Callum Wilson sort of area of striker department. I have said this before, I think Manchester United will move away and just carry on with what they've got rather than buy strikers like that. And they're not going to waste a wage on a player just because he's a free agent. He's not good enough. It's pointless bringing the player in. There's a reason why that player is a free agent from clubs that are in worse positions than Manchester United. That's what we're looking at there with Everton and obviously Leicester. Newcastle, you can say what you want, better club, but Callum Wilson, he's a demic, and we don't want to be buying him. But United narrowing it down to Sesko and Watkins. And this is the situation where we're at with Garnacho because of this. When you look at everything that's actually been said, you look at the situation now and the pricing for this and where Manchester United are at. Manchester United have narrowed down their striker search to OLLIE Watkins and Benjamin Sesko. They believe a deal for Watkins could be done for 40 to 45 million, while Sesko would be around 69 to 78 million. I think that's factual when it comes to the actual figures, because that 69 is around about what Florian Plettenberg said. 80 million euros. That's the mark that they're looking at. And United won't have a problem with that if they can structure the deal to make that happen. He's a 22-year-old. The only way that United would go for Watkins is like what Laurie Whitwell said there. Basically, if they can get a deal for 40 for 45 million, then that's maybe three-year contract. They could spread the cost out of Ollie Watkins over 3 years. Even if it's 2 years, it's only, well, the maximum Manchester United could do is probably a 3-year contract for Ollie Watkins in terms of the payments. If it's 2 years of payments, and that's what Villa want up front, if we do agree 45, I still can't see that happening. Then United were paying, what, just over 20 million. It's a big investment for a short-term deal, I think, for Manchester United on that one. And this is why I think, even though Benjamin Sesko is 69 million and a lot more than Ollie Watkins, United would prefer to go for him as the club. I still believe that Ruben Amorim would like Watkins over Benjamin Sesko. Just my opinion on this, because I think he wants someone now. And that Prem proven factor has been there all summer and has been there for everybody to see in terms of what Ruben's plan is. He doesn't need any more young players. He's got enough. He needs experienced Premier League players, and Watkins fits the bill. He's going to be 30 in December. That's the only snag with this one. And again, like, Watkins keeps himself fit and healthy, we could be looking at the age thing here and saying, well, if Watkins sees out a 4-year deal, have we not done well in getting that player in? Look, it's there, but it's Sesko at the moment for Manchester United. I think Watkins is the second option right now. Going off what Romano has said anyway, this is where we're actually at the moment with Benjamin Sesko. So, realistically, United eyeing up the younger striker again. In terms of where we're actually at with Benjamin Sesko right now, I'm going to get into the comment section in a moment with you all as well. There's quite a lot to get through in one quick fire shout here in the first 10 minutes of the show. I think Laurie Whitwell's article there has just thrown a few people off with the potential talk of Ollie Watkins as well. Manchester United have always been in the race. Vival is now leading the talks, and things are getting serious for Benjamin Sesko. United have spoken to RB Leipzig, understood the structure, and Sesko has given the green light if they bid. Meanwhile, Newcastle are concrete. They're ready to offer the asking price plus a 5-year deal. Decision is now 100% up to the player. If United bid, he picks them. If not, Newcastle are ready to strike. That's the state of play with Benjamin Sesko right now, broken down. That's where United are at. If they go all in on Sesko, Manchester United will go in and get Sesko. He will join them ahead of Newcastle. Whether United can then make that deal with Leipzig, that's up to the club. That's the structure and what we've just been talking about there. So the state of play is genuine. It is real. And Manchester United now, I think, are in a... I think we're in a comfortable position. We know what the deal is. Like, we wouldn't have gone to the representatives of Sesko, like I said yesterday, unless we thought we were going to get Benjamin Sesko. Unless we thought we were going to get him over the line. Like, that, for me, is where we're at. Like, what's the point in going in and negotiating personals and getting the player convinced to sign for you if you don't know you've got the money to go out and buy the player in the first place? That I think, is set there. And again, like I said yesterday, we had the money to go and buy Ekitike, so we're going to have the money to go out and buy Benjamin Sesko. I think Manchester United are going to be in and around the 65 million with add-on sort of mark here for Benjamin Sesko if the bid goes in. That's where I see it going. But we're waiting for that Romano update this morning. Where's Plettenberg? Where are these new stories? What's happening? Expect that to be updated very, very soon. There is, obviously, I said before, a lot of talk on HUJLMAND as well. So we are going to get into that also and get the comments going, first of all, on the Garnacho. In fact, do you know what I'll do? Let's just see what comments we've got up here in the chat. Bear with me a second, everybody. Trying to get my page up. For some reason, it isn't working right. Right, first of all, let's get into some of your comments on this one and what we've spoken about first of all, because there's a lot more of the Laurie Whitwell article to bring up as well. 5 gifted memberships, first of all, from Andy. Thank you very much, mate. Absolutely buzzing with that, pal. Really do appreciate that, my man. Thank you again. Ant says, I'm going to go mad and say we are going to go for Donnarumma, Sesko and Baleba. Hey, a man can dream, right? Yeah, that is a bit of a dream, mate, that one. We're not gonna buy Donnarumma. Definitely not. I can't see that happening. And I think there's better options for him there anyway. And again, like, just to gauge where you're at, we just dropped a poll in there now. Your pick in terms of price and player. Sesko 69 to 78 million, or Watkins at 40 to 45 million. They're the prices that Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic has put out there this morning, just this morning, on what Manchester United think is doable. Really interesting how they're all in for Sesko, knowing that he's about 69 million though. That's a big commitment right there. Is that price putting anybody off, by the way, in the chat? Let me know as well. Now we know that it is going to be that. We did talk about it yesterday a little bit, but now we know that it's coming and turning out to be more official, that that's the price. What are we thinking? Giles says, Watkins is twice the player of Sesko for half the price, and people want the expensive one. They're probably looking at the age, I think, more than anything there. And that is all on opinion. Some people actually think that Sesko would be better than Watkins as well. So Jim Radcliffe does not want a 30-year-old striker. He wants a 23-year-old striker like Sesko over a 29-year-old striker. Yeah, that is what my point. And I think that's my look on this. I would prefer Watkins in right now. I think he can propel Man United easily into Europe with the team that we've already got and the players we've brought in Cunha and Mbeumo already. That front line would be scary as hell. I still think Sesko is an upgrade on what we've got. I'm not saying he isn't, but Watkins definitely gives us that. I think that proven factor that Ruben's really looking for. Watkins is the only player we need to lead the line and teach Obi and Rasmus. Sesko can't teach the line for us. Can't lead the line for us, sorry. Rasmus will be much improved this season. Will he? It's a gamble, mate. It's a gamble, isn't it? That's the worry and that's the concern. It's not putting the ball in the back of the net. Are you getting a better player in Benjamin Sesko than Rasmus Højlund? People there jumping in now saying that Sesko is a Højlund 2.0. I don't think he is. I really don't think he is. But this is what this sort of talk does. As soon as a journalist mentions another striker like Ollie Watkins, all of a sudden everyone starts, oh, maybe Watkins is. Maybe he is the right option. I'm not saying that that's wrong, by the way. It does make you think. As soon as another player is mentioned and a price is mentioned, you start to convince yourself, and I say this all of the time, you start to doubt if Sesko's the right man because there's another option there. This is where the people working at Manchester United need to be on point. That structure needs to be bang on because they're the ones making the decision. They have to make sure that this is absolutely spot on right now. If the money is the way it is, and this transfer now is going to zap the rest of our funds for this transfer window, then realistically it has to be and probably is the most important signing of Manchester United's last 5 years. Because you're committing to another striker here. And the future of Manchester United will either be Sesko and another striker later down the line, or Sesko and Rasmus Højlund. If Rasmus is sort of like, we don't know yet. If Sesko comes in, is there a deal somewhere with Rasmus Højlund in the works? That's what you've got to look at. Because you could sell Garnacho, bring in Sesko, send Rasmus on loan with an obligation, and then he's sold next summer. With another year of his instalments paid off, another year of his contract gone, easier to sell, and Man United on the books could make profit on Rasmus Højlund next summer. If he does well on loan this season elsewhere as well, then his price might actually go up for Manchester United. This is what they're probably thinking about right now. Don't count out Rasmus being sold in all of this as well. We're talking Garnacho, Anthony and Sancho and all of these players, but there is a chance still that Rasmus Højlund might be sold. That story isn't dead. And that could pop back up with anything that happens with the striker hunt for Manchester United, a new player coming in. They might already feel like there is a deal in the offing for Rasmus Højlund we don't know about. And Romano himself has actually said, don't count out Rasmus Højlund. Watch that one this summer. It could actually come off. So that I think is obviously, I'm not saying that is right on the cusp or something could happen with Rasmus Højlund. I'm just saying be aware something could still happen with Rasmus. If United buy a striker, are they doing it because they know that Rasmus could be leaving? This could be what's happening right now at United. It could be Sesko and Obi and Xerxes. That could be where United are at. Getting a player off the books like Rasmus Højlund could be big for Manchester United this summer as well. There are still plenty of different situations that could develop. Sesko is a huge risk at that money. It could flop easily. Might succeed easily. I know I'm trying to drive the positive on that one there, but you know what I mean. It is. I don't think it's so much a flip of a coin. The benefit of Sesko is the club actually have scouted him for a long time. Like we said yesterday, Vival knows him. He brought him through. And if United are going to go for Sesko, then they are fully convinced. Fully convinced. Baz in the chat. Hello, Baz. How you doing? But Watkins has been close to a 20-goal a season striker in the Prem. For me, that tips it in his favour. I'd be unsure if Sesko could hit those numbers straight away. We need an instant boost this season. Some people might add to that you've got that in Mbumo and Cunha already, and that would give Sesko the time to actually make his mark. That's a big one as well. We have a 22-year-old striker. We are crucified because he lost his confidence due to poor service. No, wrong Manny on that one. Thanks for the super chat, mate, but it wasn't down to poor service. He missed gilt-edged chances last season. United's XG was up there last season. He's not a good finisher. I'm not letting him off. I'm not going soft on Rasmus all of a sudden. Just because people were critical of him. He was rightly criticised last season for being horrendous. And his whole overall game was poor. It wasn't just his finishing. It was a lot more. Now we want to spend 70 on another 22-year-old. We are mad, are we? If we've scouted him right. Rasmus wasn't scouted right. Who says we are selling Rasmus? He will shine this season. That is your opinion, Manny. And that's an opinion that not a lot of people would agree with. But it's fine. If you want to bank on Rasmus and he doesn't turn out, then everybody will be saying we should have bought Sesko. I get it. You could go either way with it. I'm not convinced by Rasmus Højlund. And again, I think he showed, even though he was better against West Ham, why United need another striker. It's as simple as that. And let's not forget, we're not going to get Ollie Watkins for 45 million. Villa are not going to sell him for that. So, again, it's one of them, isn't it? People think that Watkins would actually be the right player for Manchester United. In fact, news has just come out from Samuel Luckhurst, who is obviously over in the States with United's tour. Ollie Watkins would be open to joining Manchester United this window. The plot thickens. More and more news keeps on coming out. Watkins or Sesko. And don't forget, Whitwell and Samuel Luckhurst are both together at this tour. People will be talking. Journalists will be talking together day after day after day. All consistently. So it's all of the sources and all the journalists in one. This is why it gets interesting on tour with transfer news, because everybody is together and everybody is talking about similar things. Yeah, but I've been told this. This is what's happened before. I think that this source is right with this report, and bang, you get Watkins is now favourite. He wants to go to Manchester United. Romano says that Sesko is being talked about. He's United's top target right now. Who is telling the truth? Probably everybody is telling the truth, because United are looking at all of these players. I mean, just for instance here, Laurie Whitwell has said Manchester United have ruled out a move now to sign Emi Martinez from Aston Villa or Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea because the cost is too high. If Emi Martinez is too high and Nicholas Jackson is too high, is Ollie Watkins or Benjamin Sesko too high? All of them players that we are talking about there, I think Jackson, for one, not proven enough, nowhere near as good as Ollie Watkins. I mean, Martinez is too old for the price that United are willing to pay. If you want Ollie Watkins, then United want him at a cheaper price that I don't think Villa are going to go for. It's all right. This is all from the Man United side. They want him. He wants to come. Unless Watkins puts a transfer request in, Ollie Watkins will not come to Manchester United. He's going to have to kick up the biggest stink ever to come to Manchester United, for United to get Watkins for the price that they want. It's still Benjamin Sesko leading the way, in my opinion, from what I've read so far. But again, and I've said it all the way through the window, I would not be surprised if something else all of a sudden popped up and Manchester United went for somebody else. Manchester United have put their search for a new goalkeeper on hold unless Altay Bayındır leaves the club. That is concerning. And that's come from Whitwell again. So, if Manchester United have put their goalkeeper search on hold, as per the Athletic's Laurie Whitwell, then, good God, that scares me. But let's just concentrate on what's in hand right now. That means that all resources are on the striker. Has a decision been made behind the scenes here that Manchester United are now going all out for a striker, and that's the top target? And is this why we're hearing news today from the BBC and Simon Stone, who is out there as well amongst all of these journalists, that Manchester United are about to make a bid for Morten HUJLMAND from Sporting as our midfield target? Could it be midfielder and a striker? and not a goalkeeper. My God, you're putting a lot of faith in them goalkeepers. You really are. That is concerning for me to not get a goalkeeper in. And Whitwell has just dropped that bomb there, really, in saying that United have put it on hold. Hopefully, Altay Bayindir is sold then, is what I'm saying. By the way, Vitek signed a new contract at Manchester United and then moved on loan to Bristol. He's now contracted at United until 2028. So United obviously rates him highly and think there is value in Vitek there. So let's see how he does in the Championship, which is obviously a better test for him as well now. Interesting how United have loaned him to an English club to try and get some English experience for Vitek. Maybe they're thinking highly of Vitek. I don't know if there is a return for Vitek. I don't know if there's a return clause in there, maybe. But Whitwell saying that United are now not looking for a goalkeeper unless Bayindir is sold makes me think that the focus is on midfield and on attack. It's got to be a striker and it's got to be a midfielder by the looks of it right now. So just to bring you up to date with what's happened, thank you all for all of the likes as well, everybody, already. Really do appreciate that. Hit the like button if you're loving the updates. We're getting loads of news just coming through to us as we're actually live this morning. There's so much going on. Right now, as it stands, Whitwell has dropped the news on Watkins and Sesko still being top targets, but also said United have put the goalkeeper hunt on hold. Does that mean that we are going in for a striker all out, and that's why we're looking at Sesko and Watkins? Martinez will not be coming to Manchester United either, but the stories floating around regarding Morten HUJLMAND are real. I had this written down this morning. I have seen these reports before. Manchester United have submitted a £34 million bid for Sporting captain Morten HUJLMAND. His release clause is £68 million, but the Portuguese side are open to negotiating around £42 million. That's come out from a few sources now for HUJLMAND. Obviously, former captain of Sporting for Ruben Amorim. Manchester United have made a bid of €35 million for Sporting midfielder Morten HUJLMAND, 26, but the Portuguese club wants at least €50 for the Danish international, who is also a target for Juventus. This comes from the BBC. So plenty of talk here on strikers and midfielders and not goalkeepers. Kind of leading into what Whitwell said there from The Athletic, that United's focus now is on the striker. Obviously, we started the show with Garnacho and making money for Manchester United, I think, is the most important thing here. But honestly, right now, I think the biggest news, really, on this, I personally think now is the goalkeeping news. I think that Whitwell said regarding Bayindir and United putting their goalkeeper hunt on hold. I know you'd have been talking to... Like, everyone we know is over in the States. The big players are there. And The Athletic do get a bit of access. So Whitwell would have been talking to people at Manchester United while he's over in the States. No doubt. Obviously, on these open trading days, media days, things like this, you get to talk to people. And he will have got information, and he would have built his article up over the last couple of days and then put it out today. And he has said that United, from people at the club, I'm guessing... Obviously, but you'd expect him to have at least done his research in this, and with him being with the club all the way through this tour so far, you would expect him to be right on this. United have put their talks for a goalkeeper on hold, and the focus is quite clearly, according to The Athletic now, on the striker. And it's OLLIE Watkins or it's Benjamin Sesko. Now, we already know about the striker situation, obviously, but it now looks like they may be putting more money into the striker because we're not going elsewhere. Now, Garnacho leaving, Anthony leaving, all of the players and all of the news on that, I think, is honestly crucial to any deal happening now for Manchester United. But interesting how the midfield talk has come through this morning, and obviously the focus is spending more money on a striker now. I still remember when Fabrizio Romano said a few weeks ago United won't spend big on a striker this window. Now that's changed already. And like Romano was the one yesterday which was giving us the big news on Benjamin Sesko. It's up to United, it seems. Because if they let go of Sesko now and Villa hold out on OLLIE Watkins, then we're kind of stuck a little bit. We haven't got the striker that we want, and all of a sudden, United will be stuck with what they've got, because I don't think there's another striker out there that's really going to improve Manchester United massively like possibly Sesko or Watkins would. And again, just looking at the chat this morning in the show as well, some people still not convinced that Benjamin Sesko would improve Manchester United from last season. And I mean, I said this before, I disagree that Manchester United aren't getting a better player in Sesko than Rasmus Højlund. I think he is a miles better player. But again, it's going to be a big debate that continues and continues throughout, I think, on this summer. Let me just check the poll right now, first of all. Right, so from what Laurie Whitwell said, you've got a choice. Your pick is the poll. Sesko for 69 to 78 million, or Watkins for 40 to 45 million. So I'm getting a lot of feedback in people in the chat saying that they're not fully convinced Watkins is the better option. But the poll is an absolute landslide for Benjamin Sesko at 69 million. People are still saying that Benjamin Sesko is the better option for Manchester United here. So, again, like the majority is saying that we are getting a better striker here than what we've got already. If you're going to spend that amount of money, my God, that is huge. That's a record fee for Ineos as well, while being at Manchester United. That's big. So that's bigger than Mbumo, bigger than Cunha. And Manchester United would have spent near enough, going off these numbers, 200 million on a completely new front line. That they are 3 players that go right into Manchester United's starting lineup. That is significant that is so big for Manchester United. That's a good window if you're buying 3 players that are all better than people in the starting lineup at this football club in that area of the pitch. The money shot, basically, that's where it is. That's where the money is really spent in transfer windows on forwards. We know this through previous transfer fees. But that, I think, is a big statement for Manchester United if they go all out. 200 million on 3 new forwards. That, I think, that's a game changer for Ruben Amorim. And people will expect a lot more from this Man United side next season with that. Let's see, 66% still. Get your vote on that poll, everybody. I'm just looking at it. I'm looking through a few of the comments right now as well. Putting the keeper search on hold is quite worrying, but I don't mind if a keeper comes in on the last day of the window as long as we get one. Look, I reckon they've told Senny Lamens to just wait out. Like, there's no rush. They can get him done quite cheap, I think. And I think that's probably what United are thinking. Right, okay, you know what? Someone else might go towards the back end of the window here, and we could just go out and get Senny Lamens and bring him in as a number 2. Look, if you sold Bayindir for a few million, then you could easily go out and buy Senny Lamens, because Manchester United can get him for about 13, 15 million. Obviously, you could sell Malacia, you could sell Bayindir in the last knockings of the window, and Man United are quids in. Look, if United sell Anthony to El Nazar, which is still a big possibility, then United could easily go out and buy Sesko and the goalkeeper with that money, because that's a massive wage off the book and a profit for Manchester United on PSR as well with Anthony. And obviously you've got Garnacho alongside that, and then Jadon Sancho, and then Tyrell Malacia and Altay Bayindir. And like I said, you could even sell Rasmus Højlund or send him out on loan. So there's another 4 or 5 million in wages of Rasmus Højlund off the books also. You could get a loan fee for Rasmus Højlund, which would get you Senny Lamens. There's loads of different situations and options for Manchester United to get through and get what they want still in this window. And still get a goalkeeper, by the way, as well. Mate, is it true that Garnacho got on the wrong foot because you all use toilet paper? Romano mentioned the same, so United will have it. I'm not sure what you're on about there, mate. Making a joke comment there. I thought that was something serious then, but hey, look, we do get some people in there trying to look. Putting a keeper search. I've just read that one out, sorry. Do you think Onana has it in him to turn his shit show in goal around and be decent in goal? There is a goalkeeper in him, or am I wrong? I think you're wrong, mate. I don't think there's a keeper in him at all. I think he's useless. I have a very strong opinion on Andre Onana. I've seen enough already. I don't want him in this side, and it does actually concern me. It does. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is Andre Onana still playing in goal for United. We need another goalkeeper. Having Onana and Bayindir this season isn't enough for United. Look, we'll score more goals and we'll be in more games, But there is a chance that Manchester United, on the cheap with Sonny Lamans, can improve that goalkeeping area as well. United, I still am convinced will buy a keeper. I'm not having this talk that United will not buy a keeper. And it was key there in what Whitwell said, that the talk of the goalkeeper is just on hold. I think that's probably the most important thing in this. Remember that it's just on hold right now. It's not saying that we're not going to buy a goalkeeper, but we have to keep our options open on this as well. Keep your comments coming in, everybody. Please, let's get some more on this debate. There is a lot to talk about this morning. A few more super chats just to get through. Farnstar, thank you very much, mate. Get Sesko to beat Newcastle to the chance of getting 5th or 6th in the league. Point, you're weakening an opponent at the same time. So Rasmus by Sesko and Watkins, says John Malloy. I wish, mate. I wish. And Glenn with another super chat. Thank you, mate. The Muppeteer said that's about the goalkeeper the other day. That it looks like we won't get a goalie now unless he... No, that's always been the case, Glenn. Like, Baindir has to leave for United to buy a keeper. We've been confident of another keeper coming in simply because we know that there's been plenty of interest in Baindir. So I think Whitwell's covered himself there by saying that Manchester United won't buy a goalkeeper unless Baindir is sold, but there is a big confidence within United that Baindir still will be sold and another keeper will come in. Like, you can't buy another keeper now. Like, we've just sent Vitek out on loan. Eli Harrison has gone out on loan as well for Manchester United. Heaton has signed a new deal, and you've got Baindir and Onana. We can't buy any keeper right now. The thought was always that Baindir would leave at least this summer, and you can make decent money off Baindir. Didn't cost us too much. Will someone give us 5 million for Baindir? That gives us a profit, and that is more than enough then to go out and buy a decent keeper. Please replace the goalkeepers and goals against us less with at least 20 goals. We need a striker and the goalkeeper. Get Watkins equals proven. Sesko not proven for Andreas. There was a super. Roz says we need a new goalkeeper because Onana and Baindir are shite. And Baindir wants out so he can start somewhere else. Don't think these facts have changed. No, I think it's the same. I think we do need to actually look at what's been said there and say, look, yes, we've put it on hold, but that's just simply in waiting to try and get Baindir off the books. Everything I've seen of Baindir gives me the heebie-jeebies so far this summer as well. Not convinced one bit. I think Heaton's the better goalkeeper out the three. If we don't buy a goalkeeper, if I was in charge, I would start Heaton in goal over Onana and Baindir. I think he's better than both. Honestly, that's my opinion on him. We need a midfielder this window now, says Morley. Stephen says that Lamans and Vitek are 1 and 2 next season. It could be a game changer. Great to get experience for Vitek in England as well. I think it's a great move for him going to Bristol. I think that is sensible football structure working there. I think that's what that is. Don't send him abroad. Keep him in country and let him get used to game after game after game in the Championship. Plenty of games, plenty of experience, the rough and tumble. It is the next step up to the Premier League, I think. Like you see with City, what they did with James Trafford. You could have the same thing here with Vitek. Going away, playing his trade in the Championship. Excellent league. Great quality. And that experience, like I said, of being in England and the demands of English football, even more so in the Championship. It could be good. It really could. We're almost at the 500 like mark again, with plenty of time to spare. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all of the likes, everybody. And please do make sure that you hit that subscribe button as well to keep up to date. We were on the march past 93k yesterday, which is mega. Thank you, everyone. Love you all. If you have already subscribed, please do. If you haven't, it helps the channel out massively. So thank you again. The mods will drop the link in the chat as well for the kits and the shirts. Any club on the planet, we have got you covered here on OK Jerseys there. That's where I found mine. And I'm just letting everybody else know that's where you can get them. They will drop that in the link as well for you. Really the best retro kits and training kits as well. Brilliant stuff. If you wanted to make your own as well, they do actually do custom kits design. I've noticed that. I've been looking into it for the women's team as well. Custom kits, custom training kit we're working on at the moment for them as well. So yeah, everything is there. And I've just dropped that in there in the live chat from the mods as well now. Andreas also says, can we get De Gea back? Love the show, Adam. Cheers, mate. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind taking De Gea back right now, but that's never going to happen. He's coming back in a couple of weeks for his friendly against United for Fiorentina, but that's as close as we're going to get to De Gea being in between the sticks at Old Trafford, I'm afraid. It ain't happening. Definitely not. And Fiorentina are looking to tie him down, I think. Quite rightly so. He has performed well for them. And all of a sudden, he's learned how to save penalties as well. Like, why didn't you do that for United, mate? Come on. Like, we're up against it, aren't we, already? Anyway, give me your thoughts on Morten HUJLMAND as well. That apparently is, well, the sources are saying it's genuine. We'll see, won't we? United in at about 34 million. Going to need to go up a little bit. If they want about 42, I think. So United are about 6 million off if these bids are right. And the BBC are looking into it as well, and they're reporting it. So maybe there is something in Morten HUJLMAND in midfield. We talked yesterday about Toby Collier leaving Manchester United on loan. And we were asking the question, if Toby Collier is leaving, does that mean that Manchester United are bringing in another midfielder? Obviously, the question is going to be asked. Or do we believe that Ruben Amorim, like he said, wants a smaller squad, according to reports, and therefore wants to, obviously, let players go to get the game time necessary? Is the four midfielders that we've got enough for Manchester United? Bruno, Ugarte, Mainu and Casemiro. Do we need one more in there? I would like another midfielder. I really would. And I would love a striker. I desperately want a goalkeeper. No, I'm being greedy. Romano has said that Manchester United are going to buy 2 or maybe 3 more players this transfer window. Talking on DAZN last night, obviously, he has said that Manchester United have a 50% chance of signing Benjamin Sesko. They could buy 2, maybe 3 more players this window. There is, and like I said, like Laurie Whitwell's comments there about United holding off on the goalkeeper, something is cooking. Something is happening behind the scenes for Manchester United in the transfers right now. There is money to spend. There is a confidence coming out in these reports that Manchester United are going to get another big player. Whether that's Watkins or Sesko, whether it's the midfielder, I don't know. But there is 2 more at least coming in this window now. So realistically, when you look at that, with what Laurie Whitwell said, holding off on the goalkeeper, is it a bid for HUJLMAND and then a striker? That would start to impress a few more people going forward, I feel. So, again, looking at the midfield situation, I don't see Sekou Kone stepping up. He's not featured yet on tour and hasn't featured much anyway. He's never made it into Manchester United's first team yet out of all the talk of the young academy players coming in. He was thought to be one of them that was close, but has still not featured, so maybe they don't think he's ready. And if they're sending Collier out on loan, does that push us into the market for the midfielder? That, I think, is why everyone's starting to talk. Now that we've definitely held off on the goalkeeper, I think this is automatically going to make people think that there is a midfielder coming as well. 2 or 3 more players? Question mark. What did I say, Adam? I can't remember, Ant. Sorry. Sorry, mate. Did you say 2 or 3 more? I think you have been talking about certain players, mate. That many comments, buddy, that I forgot. They're digging deep behind the sofa for those coins, says Montana Zombie. They're trying to find that money. Stephen Brown says, if Collier goes on loan, then yes, bring in a new midfielder. Maybe he will use in place of Bruno if he's having a bad game, and maybe Amorim future captain again. As HUJLMAND, you never know. He captained his team before, but he's not going to get ahead of Bruno Fernandes right now. I think people just need to realise that Bruno is going to play every single game for Ruben Amorim. Guarantee it. I would love him to drop him every now and then. I'm all for it. Like, mix it up. I think it'll make Bruno even better. I just don't think he will, because he loves his mentality. We always have mad injury problems at the turn of the year. We could lose a European place by getting overrun in midfield. It's a good point, Lawrence. Make sure we've got enough cover. That period of time around Christmas is key. United failed last season, and the gap just was impossible to bring back. I think our confidence was shot at that point, and then everything went into the Europa League. That Christmas period for United was an absolute nightmare. wasn't it? Oh, it was hard. I still remember that Newcastle game where they battered us and Xerxes was booed off the pitch. That I've never felt so low as a Man United fan as I did at that point. And that was in the December period. We were horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I thought we'd set off well as in that December period when we beat City away. I thought, here we go. This is it. We're on. And no. It just crashed and burned, didn't it? Big time. Anyway, moving on quickly as well. We've got an update on Jadon Sancho also. Obviously, we brought you the news yesterday that Borussia Dortmund are considering a move for Jadon Sancho. It's still under discussion. Now, what we're looking at here is, I feel, Juventus backing off because they've got Conceição. They're looking at other options. They wanted HUJLMAND. I would love for Manchester United to go out and take a player away from Juventus. All the faffing around that we've dealt with and all the reports regarding Sancho and Juventus, we know that he would go to Germany. We know that he would go there. But is there a chance that the manager who brought him to Manchester United could be taking him back again? Now, there has been a report that he would go to Turkey if needs must for a certain wage. Now, they're going to have to pay him a lot more to go. That report, I remember talking about it on the show, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer apparently has got Sancho on his radar, and there is a realistic chance that Besiktas could go for Jadon Sancho and him team back up again with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer over there in the Turkish league. That is a story doing the rounds as well. So all of a sudden, when you look at it, you have got Real Betis offering 20 million for Antony for half of his rights. Don't see that happening. But El Nazar also in and talking, as per Romano. No bid, but talks are ongoing. Early stages. Potential, yes. Garnacho to Chelsea, waiting in the wings. That is also bubbling up nicely. Jadon Sancho, like we've just said there, a few of Manchester United players that we want moving on are in talks at the moment, and things are starting to move behind the scenes. And all this has brought these reports of United now putting everything together and looking what finances they've got, and then going into this short list of strikers, which is now down to 2, according to Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic. Off the back of what Fabrizio Romano has also said, Watkins, Sesko, Watkins. That's where United are looking. We're now putting the goalkeeper search on hold, as per The Athletic, and that now makes people think, more money into the striker and possibly a midfielder. With Toby Collier also going out on loan, I could actually see another 5 players leaving Manchester United before this window's shut. So the 4 obvious, then Collier or Rasmus Højlund as well, I think, could also be off the books at Manchester United. They are streamlining this squad down. I said this last night. We are already 8 first-team players down in this squad from the start of last season. Collier would make it 9, and that's with 2 first-team players brought in. There has to be at least 2 more players for Man United's starting 11 coming in this window. That's how I see the situation. I think that's what I think we need to be looking at and concentrating on now. This news gives me more, I'm not going to say hope, but this makes me think that Manchester United could actually be looking at bringing in a midfielder now and a striker, and then just seeing what they can make happen at the end of the window with a goalkeeper. And with Baindir, the likes of Malacia, who hasn't been spoken about, them leaving, that could easily get you a Seny Lamens on the last few days of the window. And Manchester United would have turned this window around completely. I think they're doing things here that nobody thought that we could do. But I've said it before, something is going on behind the scenes right now. There's so many stories floating around that have to have some sort of truth to them, that United are ready to go and go big on their next player. Let's get into more chats. I'll give you your chance. Saw that Tottenham want Kobe. Is that true? What do you think about that? Can we still get Martinez? No. United have now turned their attentions away from goalkeeper, and Martinez is not happening. Officially, finally someone, no, not officially, but someone significant has come out and said that Martinez is now not going to come to Manchester United. Last night, Romano said there's a 35% chance that Martinez could come to Manchester United still. Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic this morning, United now not looking at Martinez anymore. The deal is not going to happen. It's been put to bed I'll guarantee like something else will come out at the later knockings of this transfer window. The goalkeeper, the hunt is on hold. United are looking at a striker. Everything is going into the striker. So any money that we might have had aside for recently buying a goalkeeper looks like it's going into buying a striker. And that's why I think it's going to be Sesko. And Laurie Whitwell has said that Watkins could be at Manchester United. They feel like they can get Watkins for 45 million. But I don't think Villa will go for that. Samuel Luckhurst this morning has also come out and said that Ollie Watkins wants and would be up for a Manchester United move this summer. Again, the law of Manchester United working overtime right now. If reports about HUJLMAND costing 50 million, we should go for him. What do we rate HUJLMAND at, everybody? Do we think he's good enough for Manchester United? Another one of the key players for Ruben in that free-flowing sporting side that he created. It's the worry, isn't it, about not being Prem proven. Now, Danish, Portuguese league. Now, I'm not saying Danish players can't manage in the Premier League, but that's what I mean there. Again, like it's the unknown factor. And I've been completely convinced this summer by Manchester United buying Prem proven players completely. Like I've seen the way that Manchester United are operating. And I think because we've got to the last month of the window now, I think we're just in a position where the club are just making decisions now behind the scenes and going, right, okay, we've tried this, that's not worked. We're going to move forward on this now. And I think this is the position that United are now actually in. I think certain decisions are now going to start just going and going and going. And that, I think, is where we're actually at with it. And I think this is why the stories of HUJLMAND are actually up on our screens now as well. David, thank you for the super chat. He says, Adam, the players who have to work with him are Bruno, Cunha and Mbeumo. They should ask those three who they would want to play next to. That's an important consideration. The kid or the man in terms of the striker. Yeah, I get what you're saying there, but I think the players should have no input into what happens with players coming in. I get like the understanding has to be there. You would obviously say, look, Watkins knows Mbeumo. He's played with him before. He's played against him. Watkins knows Cunha. He's played against him. They all know each other very well. And that connection, I think, would hit instantly for Manchester United. Honestly, I think we would actually hit a 70 goals scored in a Premier League season next season if we had them three up front. That's how good I think that forward line would be. I really do. And that's... And the story, by the way, the comment there about Kobbie Mainoo to Spurs, that's not going to happen. There's no way that United would sell Kobbie Mainoo to Spurs. Spurs would have to come in with more than 70 million for Kobbie Mainoo at this point for United to let him go, because they'd need to go out and find two midfielders at that point then. So, no, Spurs are not buying Kobbie Mainoo. And I don't think Kobbie Mainoo wants to leave for Spurs. I mean, my God, why would you want to go to Spurs? Honestly? No, never happening. ATKO says, we mustn't sell Kobbie unless we put a low buyback price. He needs time. He changes games often as a sub due to his ball manipulation in tight spaces. He showed it for England in tournaments as well. His class. Yeah, like Kobbie's got a lot to learn. Kobbie to Tottenham, question mark. Any truth in that? Says Andreas. No, mate. I think I just wrapped that up. Thanks for that super chat there, pal. No. Maybe they're interested. Yeah, of course they would like him, but I don't think there's anything truth-wise in it being close to even being an option. That's how I feel anyway with it. I just don't see Kobbie Mainoo wanting to leave United, and definitely not wanting to leave for Spurs. I mean, come on. Seriously? Adam, why not go for Watkins and bid for Baleba next season? We should also get a keeper this season. Sesko is good, but can he handle the pressure of United? We don't know, mate. That's the thing, we don't know. And, yeah, some people would say, go get Baleba. If you're not buying a goalkeeper, spend that money on a midfielder. Go get him. Or will Brighton sell him? I don't think they would. Again, it's another Premier League club giving a rival what they want. Who is going to do that? And again, yeah, we still haven't heard anything saying that United are not interested in Ederson yet at Atalanta. There's so much to get through. There really is. But we're going to wrap things up there, everybody. We're almost on the hour there. Thank you so much. We just hit 600 likes. Please pop a like on the video before you finish. Please also make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. It helps the channel massively, and we are growing and growing. Thank you very much, mods in the chat and people super chatting. Absolutely amazing job today. Check out the link in the live chat and the description for your tops and all of your kits. The poll finished with Sesko at 69 to 78 million. 64% of you would take over Watkins at 40 to 45 million. Over 2,000 votes, and you all went for the more expensive, unproven. Well, not all of you, but the majority of you went for the more expensive, unproven Benjamin Sesko. We are going to get updates on Sesko today, no doubt. I will be ready to go with any updates that come through. I'll keep you fully posted with all of the news. Andreas, again, right at the end there, says, if we get a striker and a goalkeeper, we will be top four. Sorry, top six. Oh, if we get a striker right now, I expect United to get top six, mate. That's how much we're looking at improving Manchester United. We get that right striker in, then United will, I feel, be in the top six minimum next season. That's how important it is. I really do think at that position anyway. But that is us for now, everyone. Have a fantastic day, whatever you're up to. Stay tuned, stay posted. Hit the bell notification button alongside the subscribe button so you know when the videos are coming out. Because when that video is coming out, it means that something's happening and you'll want to know all about it. I got you covered. Cheers, everybody. Fantastic show again. Great start to the day.